on behalf of our school board and community, I'd like to welcome you all to be here today. And a special welcome to Kathleen McGinty, who's the Secretary of the Department of Environmental Protection in the state of Pennsylvania. I also would want to acknowledge any area legislators that might be here. The Radnor School District appreciates the leadership provided by the Department of Environmental Protection in initiating this program. We especially appreciate the fact that Radnor was chosen as a grant recipient, since this grant provides our students with cleaner air during the significant amount of time that they spend each day on our school buses. It also serves as an example to our students of the proactive role that district staff members are taking, in this instance, Mr. Blackburn, the Director of Transportation, to have a positive impact on our environment. And it also provides our colleagues in other districts with a model of how to operate a more environmentally friendly transportation program. As an educator, I always value opportunities to convert lofty ideals or values into practical applications. This biodiesel initiative is a great example of converting theory into practice. And talking about theory into practice, I'd like to introduce the person who is really responsible for applying for this grant, our Director of Transportation, Mr. Blackburn.
Thank you for joining us today as we celebrate and begin our conversion to a biodiesel fueled fleet. I must tell you that I am extremely excited about this opportunity, and I see it and seeing it come as a reality. This is really neat for us. We started this process a number of years ago as we had a concern about the emissions our buses were generating and the impact we were having on the environment. We read reports about the potential health effects of school bus diesel exhaust that they could have on children we transported, and I personally wondered how we could affect change in a cost-effective way that would not dramatically impact the taxpayers of Radnor. We chose two paths. First, we instituted a no idling policy in our department. This procedure, I felt, would limit the exposure of diesel emissions to the students and would have the added benefit of reducing fuel usage and in turn reduce our overall cost. We also investigated a number of alternative fuels and technologies that would reduce the impact of our diesel school buses. We chose biodiesel as a viable and cost-effective solution since there were minimal changes required to utilize the fuel. Additionally, the changeover could be almost immediate, did not require any changes to our fueling infrastructure, and would contribute towards reducing our reliance on foreign petroleum. Last year, when the PA Department of Environmental Resources announced the Alternative Fuel Incentive Grant, we were excited by the possibility. With the assistance of Emily Landsberg and the staff at Energy Co-op, we applied and were approved. For us, the application process was user-friendly, and I liked the idea that the grant was statewide and had the potential to positively impact Pennsylvania's economy. So I'm grateful to all those people and organizations that have helped to make this day happen. Special thanks to those I work with here in the Radnor Transportation Department, and especially a special thanks to the students of the district, especially those who have challenged us to improve the environment. So thank you.
Thanks, Bart. The Energy Cooperative is a member-owned nonprofit energy company. We're the leading biodiesel supplier in southeastern Pennsylvania, providing biodiesel to Radnor and other regional fleets. But our support begins well before the fuel actually goes in the tank. We provide technical and administrative support to make these fleets have a seamless transition, not just physically, but philosophically as well. This behind-the-scenes support is important, but only so much as it's translated into action by leaders such as we have here at Radnor. It takes courage, leadership, and perseverance to make forward progress, even when the forward progress makes sense. Radnor is lucky to have so many people here with these qualities. Thank you, Bert, for your leadership, for shepherding this project through all different hurdles to reach this point today. Thank you to Radnor School District officials, school board, and administration, and staff for your progressive vision. I'd also like to thank Sunoco Home Comfort Services. They've been an excellent partner to the Energy Cooperative and to Radnor School District in supplying the diesel portion of the biodiesel blend. Now, we're here today celebrating this milestone for Radnor because of a broad community of stakeholders who have, inside Radnor and out, who have played a critical role in not just changing the energy paradigm of Pennsylvania, but even broader our country itself. I'd like to acknowledge some of those supporters who are here today. People like Mike Detweiler, Great Valley School District, Blake Kraft Bus Companies, and George Ramplin from Haverford School District. You've all played major roles. Thank you. The Energy Cooperative is honored to be able to partner with so many fantastic fleets in the region to supply the biodiesel. Now, there's another group of forward-thinking individuals whose policies have really laid the foundation for helping school districts and townships switch to cleaner, renewable energy. It shouldn't come as a surprise that the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection, the state agency that protects our air, our water, our land, is the agency that's supporting these school districts and townships switch over to cleaner burning renewable energy. We're honored to have Secretary Katie McGinty here with us today. Katie has been a member of Rendell's cabinet since 2003, but you might not know that before that she was a native of Pennsylvania and actually earned a degree in chemistry right down the road, Lancaster Ave at St. Joe's. Now after St. Joe's, she wandered north a little bit and went to Columbia Law School. After that, on her way back south, she sort of overshot Pennsylvania for a little bit and landed in DC, where she chaired the White House Council on Environmental Quality and served as deputy assistant to President Bill Clinton. Luckily, though, she came back north to Pennsylvania, where she's been a tremendous asset to our community. Thank you for joining us here today, Katie.
Thanks to Emily and to all of you. Mr. Thompson and I were just laughing. One of the wonderful things about coming back into this neighborhood, first, on my way here, I was able to stop and get a nice Philly soft pretzel. That was great. You know, in Harrisburg, they try to think that they have a real Philadelphia pretzel. Auntie Anne's is not a Philadelphia pretzel. But we were also just talking about, I see the Villanova sweatshirt. I won't hold that against you. Let's see, did we have a check we were otherwise bringing today? Well, we St. Joseph's University people remember, and Mr. Thompson apparently lives in the neighborhood, some of the fine cuisine there. Larry's, home of the Belly Buster. All of the great things back in the neighborhood here. Although as we think about biodiesel, I wonder what Larry does with all of those cooking greases and oils. I think these buses could do a good job with them. Well, I think Dr. McAdams and the whole Radnor Township School District team will agree that the #1 reason we are here today is because of all of the wonderful young people who are here as well. So let me ask them, okay gang, is this a cool thing that's happening today? Yeah! Now, if I asked you the follow-up question in the following order, which is most cool? First, that you are out here and not in the classroom. Or second, that we're putting biodiesel in the buses. Biodiesel, right? Well, let me see, especially with our first graders there. You know what? There's a special day that happens on April 22nd. And it's a day that maybe they're talking about in school a little bit when we focus on the environment. Does anybody know what it is?
Arbor Day.
Arbor Day is one, but what's the other one in April? It's Earth Day, exactly. Now, when we think about the environment, sometimes we think about things like planting trees, and that's really important. Hopefully we think about things like recycling, and we've got our recycling bins there too. But you know what? We can also think about our ability to think of new ways to drive our cars, to heat our homes, to build our businesses. The technology that so many of you can help us to create and think about, dream about, and then make happen, we can do that. We can invent a way to build our lives and our economies, our communities that, do you think it always has to have a bad impact on the environment? It doesn't. What the school district is doing today is such a perfect example of that. As Emily said, this is one of those changes. Sometimes change is hard, and I really value the leadership of this school district. Everyone's busy, there are a million things to do. Someone knocks on the door and says, hey, why don't you take on another priority here? Here's just another little job we'd like you to think about. And it's hard to fit that in. But you've risen to that challenge. You've said, this is a change we have to do. And it is a winner, however you think about it. On the environment, you know, how many of you guys, the young kids here, know people or have friends who have asthma? Anybody? Yeah. And it breaks your heart. Maybe they're not able to be on the softball team or the soccer team. But do you think that these buses and the clean fuel that we're putting into the buses now, do you think that that might help in cleaning up the air and making it safer to breathe? Well, you bet it will. With this kind of clean fuel, the nasty things that get in the air and then get in our lungs, we clean that up by about 70%. The particulates that are really irritating to our lungs, so it's a huge win in terms of caring about the environment and about the health and well-being of students. It also is a wonderful thing for the environment in terms of farms and open space. You know, this is a beautiful part, not only of Pennsylvania, but of the whole country. Now, when I was a kid, which was, all right, a little while ago, a few years ago, I came from a very, very big family. Now, picture this. 9th of 10 kids. You bet. And every Sunday, whether we liked it or not, we all got put in the car. And my mother waving goodbye to us, John, take them for a drive. But we would drive, and we'd see lovely countryside all around where we lived in Northeast Philadelphia, and you didn't have to drive far to see beautiful farms in Bucks County and all around. Now, at least in that area, you have to drive and drive and drive because we've lost so many of those beautiful farms. But with biofuels, we put our farmers to work. We literally grow the fuel to run those buses, and that keeps our farmers in business. It keeps that open space, and it keeps Pennsylvania beautiful. The other thing that is important about the leadership all of you are showing is that this is a huge home run for our economy. Right up the street, that way, are a whole bunch of office buildings. There it is, right there, actually that one. In that office building right there is a company that has just come to Pennsylvania, and it has come to this neighborhood in part because it sees that you care about the environment and renewable energy. The company that's now in that office is the leading owner of renewable energy systems in the entire world. They're a Spanish company. They could have gone anywhere. But you know what they said? They said that we think the people of Pennsylvania get it, that they're going to win on the environment, win on the economy, and win on energy by building and using clean, renewable energy. That's a huge investment they're making in our economy because we're going to lead not only in this state, but the country to clean, renewable energy future, and all of you are part of it. So I want to say to Dr. McAdams, all of you in the Radnor Township School District, what you're doing here today is extraordinarily important. It's one of the best investments in the health and well-being of the young people who are gathered here today, giving them a shot at using all of the talents and gifts that God has given them because they can be healthy and well. But it's also an investment in saying that this state, Pennsylvania, which is known for investing and building and being the birthplace of America's history, is also building America's future. And clean energy and renewable energy is one of the most exciting areas that we can lead and we can invent and we can build it right here at home. So to all of you, thank you very, very much for your leadership, your vision, your can-do, and let's go get them. You ain't seen nothing yet. Okay, now it's always nice when we come and we have nice things to say and we say, yay, but it's even better when we bring money. And we did bring money today. And I asked Dr. McAdams and others from the township to come up and join me for the presentation of the check.